Hello, my name is Minjung Bae, and I'm a Cultural Affairs Professional Associate at the U.S. Mission to India. Today, on behalf of the U.S. Embassy New Delhi, its four consulates, and the American Center in New Delhi, I'd like to welcome you all to the last virtual event of the season for Joshi Umang. It has been a rewarding journey altogether so far, and today's Manipuri dance performance with Priti Patel and her troupe Anjika marks the end of a 5 day spiritual music and dance festival brought to you in cooperation with the Kutum Foundation. Now, please allow me to say a few words about the American Center. The American Center New Delhi is the U.S. Embassy's public engagement space where we connect with the Indian people to share U.S. culture and promote our shared democratic values. We are home to the Nexus Startup Incubator and the iHub, a specialized reference and research facility that offers access to comprehensive and authoritative information on the United States, its people, and its policies. We are currently open for our library, so please use the library services. We host many events at the American Center in New Delhi, such as film screenings, art exhibitions, panel discussions, workshops, and cultural performances. Due to COVID-19, we have been hosting all of these events mostly virtually right here on our Facebook page. So we look forward to inviting you back to the American Center as soon as we can. The event series Josh Umang aims to raise awareness and start conversation on various social issues and highlight common threads between the United States and India. This month, we are focusing on religious freedom. If you would like to stay connected with Joshi Umang, please join the Facebook group Cultural Explosion at ACND and register your interest on Google Form. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy today's event. And Argopriya, now over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, men. My name is Orko and I would like to welcome you all to the final day of the Spiritual Music and Dance Festival. Today's performance is by Priti Patel and Anjika. Priti Patel is one of the most outstanding exponents of Manipuri dance. She has been trained in Manipuri dance from eminent gurus such as Late Guru Bipin Singh and the Jhaveri Sisters, especially Darshana Jhaveri and Kalavati Devi in the Vaishnavite and Ras Leela forms of Manipuri dance tradition. She took training in the Sankirtan and Ras Leela traditions from Guru Padma Shri late Ojha Babu Singh and Ojha Thorani Sabi Devi. In the Thangta tradition by A. Gaura Kishore Sharma and advanced training in Thangta by eminent scholar Padma Shri late Pandit N. Kelchandra Singh. In Lai Haraoba tradition, she was trained by late Ojha Kumar Malvi. Preetiji is now known for her pioneering work in Manipuri style, where all the four forms of Manipuri dance, namely Thangta, Lai Haraoba, Sankirtana, and Ras Leela, come together. Preetiji has undergone formal training from Lesley College, Boston, in the US, in dance and movement therapy, and has worked with special children in collaboration with the Indian Institute for Cerebral Palsy. In November 1995, Preetiji founded Anjika, a center for Manipuri dance and movement therapy. Anjika is engaged in propagating and preserving the sanctity of the Manipuri dance style. Anjika is also a school for movement therapy for children suffering from cerebral palsy. Today's performance is called Ananta Leela, and it will explore the cosmic play of creation and destruction and our constant search for balance and harmony for a peaceful life. It is choreographed by Preeti Ji and has been filmed in Imphal and Kolkata. I can't wait to watch the performance, but before we start, I'd like to quickly say that please don't forget to share your thoughts, comments, questions, likes, and hearts with us during the performance. It is an honor to have Preeti Ji and Anjika perform for us today. So please let's welcome them with a round of virtual applause.
Ananta Leela. Infinite. In the bruised and fragile world surrounding us, it is time to heal and restore balance in the universe. Creation, preservation, and destruction are the cosmic manifestations of supreme energy in the universe.
विष्णोः सकाशादुद्भुतम् जगत्तत्रैव च स्थितम् स्थितिसंयमकर्ताऽसौ जगतोऽस्य जगच्च सः अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे। एकानेक स्वरूपाय स्थूल सूक्ष्मात्मने नमः अव्यक्त व्यक्त रूपाय विष्णवे मुक्ति हेतवे सर्गस्थिति विनाशानां जगतो यो जगन्मयः भूलभूतो न समतस्मै विष्णवे परमात्मने। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
तनरे 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 रे 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 तनरे 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 रे 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 तनरे।
हिरण्यवर्णा हरिणी सुवर्ण रजतस्रजा चन्द्रा हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदोम आवह सरसिजनिलये सरोजहस्ते धवलतरांशुक गन्ध्यमाल्यशोभे भगवति हरिवल्लभे मनोज्ञे त्रिभुवनभूतिकरि प्रसीद मह्यम् विष्णुपत्नी क्षमां देवी माधवीं माधवप्रियां विष्णोः प्रियसखीं देवीं नमामि अच्युतवल्लभाम् महालक्ष्मी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मीः प्रचोदयात् तन्नो लक्ष्मीः प्रचोदयात् तन्नो लक्ष्मीः प्रचोदयात्.
Creation is Anadi, that which is eternal. Through the ritualistic dances of Lai Haraba, we present the cycle of creation and the energy and spirit that infuses us and the world around us. The dances represent man's role in the universe, his relationship with nature, and the soul's quest for the absolute.
Lightning thâu hối đâu nè shit nè Yoi bu bio hayani she ne shum ha ingai te noi bade mai na wai na noi he tong na shau gai ni ta noi bane ko rau naga hau hai ni ta noi bane ma le naga shim hai ni ta noi bane ma tai naga ma da naga noi bane lam le naga ma tai ma ta noi bane lam 连那个马后进大内本呢。
dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari 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 hey dadari yari yari hey dadari yari yari hey dik dadari yari yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri 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 yari hey dik yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari hey dik yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari hey dik yari hey yari hey dik yari hey ri yari hey dik yari hey yari hey dik yari hey
It is universal that what is created is also destroyed. The dynamic choreography of Thangta denotes the annihilation of evil, ego, and imbalance. But there is also preservation. And it is the cosmic dance of Ras Leela that maintains universal order.
Din
Time moves constantly, like the wheels of a chariot. It is cyclic and repetitive. The snake eating its own tail signifies this idea of cosmic time, and the circle of fire symbolizes continuity and eternal motion through the process of creation, preservation, and destruction.
That was such a fabulous performance, Preeti ji, Mangan Sanna ji, and Suraj Kumar ji. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
You're
bringing
most
this
welcome.
absolutely wonderful performance for us. It was so beautiful in every sense, you know. The performance, the natural beauty, the music, everything just was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much once again, Preeti ji, for bringing this to us.
You're most welcome, Priya.
Thank you so much for asking us.
It was, I mean, doing this virtually, but I still think, it worked because uh, this is away from the stage. You're doing it right in the natural setup, which is also quite different from what you would usually be doing. So it was also quite refreshing to see that. We have a couple of questions that we'd like to ask. I mean, while watching this performance, I noticed that, Manipuri dance, unlike other classical dance, Indian classical dance forms, it has so many like forms within it. So many different kinds of dances like Thangta and Pungcholam, Ras Leela, and each has its own costumes and styles. So, could you talk to us a little bit about it, Preeti ji?
Manipuri dance and music traditions are very special, and really, I should say, one of the ancient most styles in India. And very interestingly, there's a lot of diversity within the tradition. You have the pre-Vaishnavite forms, which are, Vaishnavism came to Manipur in the, uh, you know, in the 18th century, and when the first Ras Leela was performed. But before that, there was this the whole system of worshipping tantra, of elements of nature, and in the ritualistic festivals of Lai Harauba. So you have the pre-Vaishnavite forms, the dances of Lai Harauba, of the creation, which we performed, and when Manka was singing the songs of creation. So that was, and of course the Thangta tradition is also ancient, and it's also to do with the ritualistic tradition of prayer. So Thangta has that prayer, the whole element of prayer. At the same time, it is for meant for war too. So we have this pre-Vaishnavite tradition, and we have the Vaishnavite tradition of the Ras Leela and Sankirtana. So here, that there are so many diverse forms which came into being with the influence of with so many influences, because the influence came from India. When the religion came, the dance forms got evolved into more beautiful classical forms. So besides this, you also have, I mean, there are numerous music traditions, and of course there are numerous folk traditions too in Manipur. So very rich in dance and music.
Yes, so talking about the music, actually, I'd like to, I mean, I was listening to it, and especially when the Thangta performance was happening, the drums, the sound of those drums was quite, I can't think of a word to describe. It was just just so exhilarating, the sound of those drums. And I mean, even though I was watching, on the laptop, still the sounds came through it like as if I was watching live. It gave that feeling of exhilaration. It was just so beautiful. And throughout, just like the costumes were different, the soundscape is also so different. And there are so many different kinds of instruments being played. We saw two traditional instruments, the pena and the pong, during the performance. So, could you please talk a little bit about the role of music in the dance and its connection to Vaishnavism, Manga sir?
Uh, Actually, it is the musical tradition in Manipur, which is we can say in the three different ways. The one is which is a very folk form, which accompanying with the village life, walking condition, and like the and the playing games, children's songs, etc. These are the very much folk forms. And from that, there's one more very big forms, which is we call it traditional music, or maybe we can Manipuri classical music also, which was especially curated by the royal office. From that curation, Laiharawa music, Nata Sankirtana, Jagoi Ras, these are all from the very much curated forms from royal office. And the third forms, which is we can it can be also another, which is popular music, like uh, all this popular music also derive from this very much folk forms, traditional forms, as well as from the day-to-day changing forms also. But here in this production, we always bring out try to bring this all traditional forms of music from which are very uh, especially gifted for thousands of years. This like a pena music, which was performed in Laiharova, which is very strictly binding music. There should not be any break, there should not be any
Yes.
extra tunes or things, and even in the Natha Sankirtan and Ras Leela and even the drums. In this production, we could not able to show that the big drums we have in
Yes.
Anjika. So that's sound of drums, which have been in Manipur for thousands of years. Which drums will it is a for the these drums are used in royal office to bring to tell the stories, or to tell the time, or to make aware emergency calling something. This is a very huge drums we have, and it was a
Wow.
developing. There's a many various forms of drum, very big drums from the very small drums also. So you might not you may imagine there's the different sounds from different drums would be that's a very little part of that drums was used in this production. Of
Yes,
course, the
true.
pena is a very ancient instrument. Besides, in the Ras Leela and the Natha Sankirtan, a pena is not being used. Here, that's more developed forms of music like Maite Pung, which is Mridanga-like drum. And of course, there's the songs, the music, the melodies are well intermingled with the uh, lately came that Indian tradition, Bangla traditions, music with the Manipuri ancient way of singing, which is nicely intermingled within the Rajasri Vegasandra. And this kind of music, melodies was used in the Natha Sankirtana and Ras Leela. So that is the it is something that's Manipur is unique because we have our own very ancient forms. Then some foreign music or foreign art form has also came to us, and even after we we created another new form, which was our guruji's or ancestors' technique, their speciality.
Their
Yeah,
contribution. Yes.
their
Yes, and it's
contribution.
adapted and formed a whole new sound,
Yes,
and
definitely. Yeah.
so it's
Uh,
Music.
it's
yes.
beautiful. How many kinds of drums are there? I just out of
It is the
curiosity.
that's every village have their own drums from
Wow.
making from different kind of woods and trees. Like in yeah, say one of the heritage village in Manipur in Andhro, their drums it it is their drums is still more than 800 years old. It is still been there, and there are some Laiharoba places, Laiharoba ritual places in another villages. It is more than 400, 500 years old drums are there. It is a very huge drum. It cannot be played by one man. It should be played by 4 or 5 people in the same time, or sometimes in the two people in the different side and the different safe. Yeah, like this. So there's a more than 20 different drums, 20 different names of the drums and styles.
I'd love to go to Manipur and see these drums. It sounds
Yes, sir, you
just
should come.
fabulous.
Yes. And that is why in all our productions, the music is more or less live. there's not much of this of recorded, because all
Yes.
the artists are musicians, are dancers and musicians.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you see,
wow.
they double up. You see,
Yeah.
they're playing, they're dancing, they're playing. So it's a wonderful synthesis of
Yeah.
doing both
Actually,
together.
this whole traditional Manipuri dance and music is inseparable. All dancers should sing and dance,
Yes,
and
yes.
all the drummers, they should know how to dance and move and gestures. This is a tradition. So when you see some live performance of Manipuri traditional dances, maybe in Manipur, in the Ras Leela, in the Govindiji temple, or in the Lai Harauba space, you can find every participant dancers, either is a female or male or children, they would sing and dance, and so many people will play drums and a pena. This is something we have in our
Wow.
blood.
Yes, it's inborn, and all these artists, it's all the people of Northeast actually.
Yes, that is true. And I am this bit I didn't know. So it also is very different from the other traditional Indian classical dances, right? Because they have a very set. These are the musicians, and you are the dancers, and that
Yeah,
thing is there.
yeah,
It's so
No,
wonderful that
mm.
in the Manipuri
Also,
dance it's all together.
also, Arko Priya, I must point this out to you that it's still a living tradition. So we still have the dances which are still performed as prayer. What we saw, the dance of the creation, is still performed as a ritualistic dance in a kind of a festival, which is not just a festival; it's a prayer which is happening every year.
yeah,
uh, every year in the month of May, Lai Harauba happens, and at that time they perform these dances. So they invoke the gods, and they will perform this in front of the gods. So,
yeah.
and the Ras Leela which you saw in the last, that too, even now, they are,
Wow.
so I don't like to use the word perform at that time. That's the offering
Yeah, offering it
to
is a
the
kind of
gods. You see,
devotion.
it's a devotional offering. We,
Yeah,
that there is not a performance.
yes, yes, yes,
So
right.
there is not a performance.
Mm.
Wow. Preeti ji, I really hope that, one day soon, hopefully the pandemic gets over and we are able to do host a live, physically live performance so that uh, the audience who are watching today can also watch and experience this. I'm sure a lot of them have actually not seen Manipuri dance before. So I am extremely excited, and I hope that we are able to host you physically as well and see how see all this come alive in front of our own eyes. Um I just wanted to continue with the questions. Just the last image that comes in the after the performance gets over, the snake eating its own tail. That image also really stayed with me. I thought that was like a really profound way of depicting the concept of your performance, Ananta Leela. So, is the belief of creation, destruction, preservation that you talked about in the performance, is that an integral part of the Manipuri dance? Is it part of the spiritual belief that Manipuri dance follows?
Yes, especially the dances of creation. You see, the snake eating its own tail is where the creation is complete. You see, it's also a number eight, and
Uh,
it's a philosophy. It's a very deep philosophy, which Mangang Seda, you will agree with me, very difficult to explain just like that. And the we don't like to just say the snake, but Lord Pakangba, the deity, is the ruling deity of the Thangta tradition too. But there's a deep philosophy regarding this. And yes, we have, there are many formations or papal of Lord Pakangba, and this is one of them. And it is, if you see in all our dances, we are moving in serpentine manner. So, in all our
Hmm.
body movements are like the serpentine.
That
And
graceful, huh?
yes, yes. And when we do, our hand movements, if you look closely, all number eight, where one of the formations of the snake god eating his own tail and the creation being complete. So they believe that when the tail is not in the mouth, then it is not then there could be destruction. So there are various formations of the snake god which denote a different philosophy. So it's very interesting, and it is also reflecting in our dance traditions. And if we are, especially in Laiharoba, towards the end, you know, the Pena Kumbha, right, moves
Um,
in
uh,
Lere
yeah,
yes,
that's Amaiba, that head
the
priest.
Amaiba.
Yeah,
Yes, who's moving in, with dance, in this formation, which is the Leiden, right? And
yes,
it creates this formation, this beautiful formation which you saw, which it is, you can't see it, but if you are powdering the floor and if you walk in that formation, you will see that that formation is being made. And
Wow.
that is the philosophy that the whole creation has been completed.
yeah.
So profound. I'll watch the performance again now with this perspective, and I, I mean, this is really so profound. I never thought of it from this perspective at all. I was just watching a beautiful performance, but it's so deep and so really. I mean, I'm saying the word profound again, but that
Yes.
is what it is.
And
Um,
the two traditions of the pre-Vaishnavite and Vaishnavite, you see. So we started with pre-Vaishnavite and we came to the Vaishnavism. So it is the journey of the dance tradition over the ages. That also was in this production.
And I think it's beautiful that pre-Vaishnav traditions are also still there. I mean, nothing has overtaken the other, and they've all come together and become part of the larger family instead of being overpowered. It's lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Preeti ji, we're coming to the end of the event. So I just wanted to ask one last question to you. Uh, you are, and you don't need any introduction. You are one of the most premier exponents of this form of dance, and you've not only helped increase the popularity of Manipuri dance on an international level, you've also been using dance as a form of therapy to help specially able children. We would really love to know a little bit about the work you do.
I started this work in 1990, and it was really all by chance. There was nothing, I think it was all destined, that I happened to go with a friend to the Indian Institute of Cerebral Palsy, and they asked me to teach them dance. So if for 6 months I really struggled, because we classical dancers have been trained in a very rigid manner by our gurus. It is just this or that. This, it is very, very rigid. So I tried to teach them the same way, which, and I never succeeded. But it was really, I had given up when, you know I should say that it is, uh, one day I was just sitting, not very helpless, in the class, and suddenly this little girl who was in the wheelchair put on some music, and the whole class burst into movement. And really, they
Wow.
taught me how to teach them how to dance. So, it was really something which was very special, and I will never be able to forget that. But soon, again, the whole aspect of the Manipuri form, especially the Ras Leela form, which is so gentle, that you see the gentle movements was so easy for these children, some of them. So that, and when I was with the children with cerebral palsy, the main problem is motor coordination. So you see, with the coordinated gentle movements, it helped their coordination. There's no cure, but it just helped them. And of course, dance is a wonderful medium of release. Dance is a wonderful medium where you let go, and it refreshes you, makes you happy, even for us too. I mean, in this lockdown, that's what has kept everyone going. We've danced at home, in our homes, and it's been wonderful, for the first time, to just dance for ourselves, not do not care for anything, whether we've combed our hair or not, but you're just dancing for yourself. So this is dance has its most wonderful therapeutic value, besides besides being a visual form, besides being an aesthetic. It's a great activity. So it's a winner all the way, and it really helped these children to come out of their their of themselves, really, and to discover that life is beautiful, and we can enjoy it no matter what.
Yeah, rightly so.
Thank you, Preeti ji. Thank you, Mangan Sana ji. And Preeti ji, thank you. You're doing such wonderful work in every way. Thank you for that as well. And once again, thank you so much for this beautiful performance. Um, Today is, in the middle of the Navratri, and everyone is. It's like a perfect performance for this period, and. Thank you for also providing so much insight into Manipuri dance through our conversations. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure so did the audience. And I would just like to say to the audience a thank you for joining in and watching this performance. And please be sure to take our survey, a link to which we are going to post in the comment section below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and colleagues, and join American Center New Delhi's Cultural Explosion group to stay up to date on more events like this. Thank you for joining us today, Preeti ji and Mangan Sana ji. And thank you, audience, for joining and showering the performance with so much love. On behalf of everyone at the US Embassy's American Center New Delhi and the Kutum Foundation, have a great evening.
Thank you, American
Thank you.
Embassy and Kujam Foundation. Thank you, Arka Priya.
Thank you.